What's going on, everybody? Visuals here, and I'm going to show you guys how I get my quality, since a lot of you guys keep asking me how do I get my quality, and you guys think there's, it's very simple. You just have to put on sharpen, and then upload it through PC, and then boom, you get good quality. Yes, you're gonna get good quality, but it's not gonna be flawless. Not 90% of the time, you're not even gonna get insane quality, depending on the anime. So I'm gonna show you guys how to get amazing quality regardless what anime you're editing. It could be the worst. It could be even Naruto, like 480p anime. It's not even in 720, and you can make that anime look 4K. It all depends on your quality, like the render settings plus the effects you add, the sharpen, and more, etc. There's a lot more to it, and I'll show you guys how I do my quality, okay? So, this is what we're gonna do. Let's say you finished your video, correct? You got everything you wanted, you got the CC. Make sure you don't add sharpen, unsharpen in the layer where you finished your video. So you're gonna pre-comp the clip, okay? Once you finish everything, you have the CC and everything, you're gonna pre-comp it, okay? Once you pre-comp it, the first thing I do is I add my preset that I made with the detail preserving, upscale, and instant 4K. And let me explain to you guys what this does. So, instant 4K, what it does, it sizes up your clips and sizes up to the correct resolution that you want it. So, for example, if I made this a 4K right now, I made it 2080 by 2080, right? This is usually would be 4K for 1080 by 1080. If I put this right here, the 4K output size to fit to comp height, okay? Boom. See how it scales it up, and the clip does not look blurry. But for this example, for every example, usually in general, I always leave it the same resolution. So 1080 by 1080 is what this edit was, okay? I edited this in 1080 by 1080. It's a square edit. So when I add this, when you put this on, always make sure your sharpness, quality, and anti-aliasing are my settings. Because you want to max them out. You want to max everything out. You want to max sharpness, you want to max quality, you want to max anti-aliasing. And when you turn it off and on, you already tell a little bit of a difference. Especially when you zoom in, you can kind of tell like there's a little pixelation. Look at the eyes, for example. You can kind of tell. You see that? Yes, it's not good because it adds a little bit of pixelation. But that's why the detail preserving upscale comes in. What this does is this deletes every pixelation that's in the scene. So if I turn this off, you can look at the eyes, for example. You can just kind of tell. See what this does? It deletes all the pixelation. So what you did pretty much right now, just now, you added instant 4K to size up the clip to the corresponding resolution. Plus, you added detail to delete all the pixelation of the scene. So once you do this, and I will give you guys the preset of this exact thing right here. I will give you guys the preset and the project. Well, obviously, if you guys bought it, you will already have it. So once you have this, perfect, just like the way I did it, depending on your clip though. So if you're doing a 1920 by 1080 edit, so this is what it would be, 1920 x 1080. It would be like this. Let's say it's full screen. You still do the same exact thing, the same settings, the same everything. You do not have to change anything at all. So do not worry about that. After this, you're gonna have a little black bar right here. Don't worry about it. It's most likely gonna be a black bar. Most of you guys are gonna have it. If you don't, it's better for you. Don't worry about that though. We'll fix that later. Then you pre-comp it again, and on this layer, you add an adjustment layer right above it, and you add unsharp, sharpen. And these are my settings for the unsharp, sharpen. Now, I put this one for 155 because, yes, you can see a little bit of pixelation, but because of the detail preserving upscale, for some reason, when you have, doesn't matter how high your sharpen is, it's not gonna pixelate your scene. Because here's a perfect example of how your scene is gonna look. So right now, it might look a little stupid, like ridiculously sharpened, right? But when you zoom out, that's exactly how the anime is going to look on Instagram, right here. So like me zooming out is I already know how it's going to look like. But let me show you guys another example of why I know this is not going to look bad. Even though you see so much pixelation, like, oh, this is going to look really bad. It's not, because of the detail preserving upscale. But make sure you have these settings right here. I'll add a preset as well, obviously. So after you do this on sharp sharpen, you pre-comp it again, okay? And right here is where it comes in. You see this? The pixelation is almost gone right here. You can kind of tell. What I did right here is, as soon as I pre-comp it again, you're going to go to composition, okay? And you're going to scale it up. So depending on the edit you're making. So if you're making a 1920 by 1080 edit, it's going to have to be 2160 by 3480 if I'm not wrong. Let me just double check real quick. 4K resolution size. 3480. Yes. Oh no, 3840. Sorry, it's gonna be 3840. So this is what you're gonna do. But make sure you always do this at the end of everything I just showed you. All those steps. That really just depends on the editor. If you're making a 1920 by 1080 edit, this is what you do. If you're doing a square edit, you're gonna have to do 2080 by 2080. But remember, if you're double clicking on the layer and the composition is 1080 by 1080, you did it correctly. If not, if the composition under, when you click it again, it's 2080 by 2080, you did it wrong. You gotta make sure you upscale it at the last composition. So once you scale it up, that's all you need to do. And the minute you scale it up, the clip is already gonna look a little less sharpened because you're scaling it up. So that's the point of it. So when you scale it up, that's what it does. So however you see it right here in this exact screen, when it's 2080 by 2080, that's exactly how it's gonna look on Instagram. Remember that. So after you got it all done, you're gonna render the video. So when you render the video, I have two steps. One, I use After Effects to render with render queue, and the other one I use Adobe Media Encoder. So we're gonna start off render queue because that's how you should start every time. You go render queue right off the bat. You finished everything. You make sure the song is always in the last. Make sure it's not in the compositions because it's gonna affect the audio. It's gonna have those little audio cuts that you don't like to hear. So make sure the audio is here. Even if you have it inside here, make sure you just copy it and then paste it at the end and then delete it from the inside. Okay? Make sure you have it on full. Always have it on full when you're about to render. Otherwise, it will render in whatever you have it on, unless you have it set to automatically, change it to full. So after that, you're gonna set it to render queue. We're not gonna go to media encoder because that's next. You're gonna go to render queue, and you're just gonna not touch anything. Just choose wherever you want it to render to, and that's it. You render it. Okay? Let it render all the way through. It's gonna finish. Blah 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 blah. You close After Effects. You don't need to worry about this anymore. Now, what we need to do is open media encoder. Okay. Okay. So once your media encoder opens, make sure you have the corresponding media encoder to your After Effects. Obviously, if you have a 2018, make sure you have a 2018 media encoder. Do not have a 2019 because obviously it won't work. So once you open this, you're gonna drag the file. So for example, this is the file. Okay, this is the rendered file. You're gonna drag it in. Well, actually, this is not the rendered file. Sorry, but let's see if I can actually find the rendered file to make this easier because it's not gonna show the render settings correctly if I don't actually have it. I think it's this one of these three. I know that for sure. Let me check real quick. Let me double check the properties. Let me check the file size. Okay, this is not the correct one, so I'm just gonna put it in I don't know, freaking new folders. Okay, let me check if this is the correct one. Nope, not correct one either, because it needs to be a really big file size. This is probably the correct one. Yep, 14 gigabytes. See, that's how it would usually come out to, around 14 gigabytes. And not really 14 gigabytes necessarily, but it's always going to be above 10 gigabytes 100% most of the time, unless you're making a really, really short edit that's like 5 seconds. It's going to be around 5 gigabytes, but most 20, 30 second edits are going to be above 10 gigabytes. So if you see the file size really huge, you did it good. So the next thing you do is you add the actual clip into this. The one you rendered just now in After Effects, you add it in here. Okay? And then what you do is you just press one of these two. It doesn't matter which one you press. You open it, okay? Make sure you press match source height bit rate, okay? Then you press, make sure you always match source. You scroll down, turn on use maximum render quality, turn on. And now this is how you know if you did it right. When you press here and you press CBR, if you press 50, because that's the value you're gonna need to put is 50. If you press 50 and it's right here and not anywhere further, because usually if you don't do it right, 50 is gonna be at the end, like right here. So if you see 50 right here before the middle, you did it right. And it should be around 200 megabytes, depending on how long the edit is and how heavy it is on effects. If you see this right here like this, you did it correct and you should be fine. And then all you gotta do after that is render the video and you're done. Okay, that's it. Now, technically, you finished. So, but you cannot upload from mobile. Please do not upload from mobile because then you did all of this for absolutely no reason. So now this is the clip. So it came out around what? 210 megabytes, just like it showed down there. 240 megabytes, it came out 210 megabytes, okay? So what you're gonna do after that, you're gonna open your browser, whatever your browser you have, but most people have Chrome. You're gonna go to Creator Studio. So you're gonna, let me just type in for you guys to make it easier for you guys. So you type in Creator Studio. Okay, and it's gonna look like this. It's gonna say Facebook Creator Studio. Make sure it says Facebook Creator Studio. When you open it, it will be like this. It's gonna show this exact screen right here. This screen that you guys are gonna see. You're gonna press Instagram on the top right corner, and then you're gonna log into your Instagram. All right, once you're logged in, you should be directed to this exact screen right here. And what you're gonna have to do next is you're gonna have to press create post. Make sure it's Instagram feed, unless you want an IGTV. If it's over a minute, then you know, do IGTV. But Instagram feed for 90% of people. You press it, you press add content, up from file upload, and then you look for the file. You press open it right here, and it should be right there. And you can kind of just tell how good the quality will look when you just press play on it, just, you know. But that's really it. That's all it is. And then you just press upload, and you're good. Just wait for this to go all the way to 100% before you press upload it, just because I just do it that way. I don't know if it has any difference, but I just trust it better that way, because it's just already 100%, you know, uploaded to Instagram. But that's it. But please, for the people who bought this, do not share this around. Just keep it to yourself, because you paid the money for it. You guys, you know, you guys paid it for yourself. You bought it for yourself. Please don't share it to your friends, because I worked really hard on finding these settings, and I don't want people that did not support me. I don't want to sound like a dickhead, but it is something I've been, you know, working on for a very long time to find, and I really don't want people that just have it without paying for it, because otherwise they will start sharing it around and everybody will have it. So please, if you bought it, keep it to yourself, and hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope it helps you guys, honestly. And if you guys actually bought this pack and use the quality settings and it looks amazing for you guys and you guys like the way it is, tag me in your edits, let me know, or DM me, shoot me a DM, like, be like, oh, I use your render settings, you know, tell me if it looks good or not, this and this and that, and I'll let you guys know. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope it helps you guys.